Hi, everyone. Yes, it's me again, talking about objects again. But this time we are going to dig into the system object concept and how we can enjoy its functionalities and kind of move away from service builder. Let's see. But here's the story. When we face a new feature, like object was like 2 years ago or something, we are like, hey, I want to use it. I know, I am a dev also, and when I see something new or something that is like just popped up, I'm like, I want to taste it. I want to see how fast can it be, how easier from the old way can it be. So I want to try it, right? It just light up our eyes. And here is objects, okay? It has some pretty good features, like this one is a model builder view that you can view your model, the relationships. Also, you can create fields, you can create relationships. All of this in this screen, right? It's good. It's something we've never had before, and it will make our life easier. And also, we can have actions, we can have validations, we can bring the logic, we can build the logic in a faster and easier way. So just a quick recap of what object is. I know everybody here should have some, should know what it does, but just a quick recap. With objects, we can model our applications. We can build entities that we call objects and like have a model connected. We also can include business logic in it, using validations, using actions, using all of those features. And along with some other tools that are part of the ecosystem of objects, like form container, we can provide user interface also. So with objects, we can build a complete solution in a low, no-code way, okay? So just a quick recap. Those are the main features that we have. As I said, we can build entities, we can build objects. We can include fields inside these objects, and we have most of the types, integer. We have Boolean, pick list, all of those things mapped into database columns. We can build relationships. Okay, so we have one-to-many relationships, we have many-to-many relationships, and relay those objects together. Also, we can have validations. We can validate the data that we are persisting in the database. And this last one is the one I like the most. We have actions. With actions, we can you can interact with data. Okay, so with actions, you can build your own actions as a client extension, for example, and we have some out-of-the-box actions that we can perform after a trigger. So we will see it a little bit more. And it is integrated with pages, so I can build a form container with headless, so all good, right? But let's go back to the real use case. This is just a briefing, just to recap a little bit more. Let's imagine we want to build a new application, a new project. So we have some requirements. And okay, it's easy to map into the object's functionality. My entities will be objects, fields, I will create relationships, add actions, validations, and it should work. It's good. But that's not the case for everyone, right? Maybe we already have a project running on our in production, and you need to expand it. So I already have pages, sites. I already have entities built with Service Builder. I already have local services with my business logic. I have a headless API that was built with REST Builder. I have pages, as I mentioned, custom fragments, permissions. So I have roles that can control my model permissions there, workflow, documents and media, and I can be mentioning every Liferay framework that we have, and I need to expand it. So what are the solutions, right? When new requirements come, like for example, I have a new page that I need to build. I have a new entity that I need to have in my database. So what are the options? The first one is like building with Service Builder. So you would have to copy a lot of data. As we know, you have to increment the service XML, have a local service, all of the things, new fragments, custom fragments, permissions, all of those things, right? And here I'm bringing some examples of the new requirements that we can have. In this example, I have a flight application, okay, to create new flights. And let's suppose I want to add a new field to store the flight category, for example. So I must have a new column in the database. Or I need to create a new validation to check the date of a flight. Okay, this I can do in the local service, doing some checks there. Even create a new logic to send an email when a flight is created. I would have to probably create a model listener with some logic there. Also, I need to create an entity called booking and relate it with the existing flight entity. Go to the service XML, expand it, create a new entity, and create the local service, relating there. And the last one is create a new logic to integrate data with external system after I create a flight creation, an entry creation there. That probably might also be a model listener or even inside the local service, okay? So this is just a few examples I brought. And I've mentioned how to do it with Service Builder. That would demand code, a lot of code and copy code. But all of this can be done with objects, like just with clicks, or even with a JSON file that you just import and boom. Okay, so here are the solutions with objects. To create a new field, just go to the field list of the flight, if I would have an object called flight, and add a new field with the type I want there inside. Okay? Simple. It would take like 10 seconds to create or something. I can create a new validation to check the date of the flight, for example. We would just go to the validation tab inside the object and create an expression to validate that date inside there. Create a logic to send an email. We have notification template where you can build your notification email there. And we would create an action that the trigger would be when after add a new entry, we send an email notification. That can be done with just configuration as well. To create a new entity is even easier. We can create the object and relate it and create a relationship with the flight. Imagine I want to create booking now, and one flight can have many bookings. So I would go to the relationship of the flights and add there a one-to-many relationship, okay? And to create a new logic to integrate data, to send data to an external system, simple. You can do it by a client extension. We have client extension for actions, so we receive the entry created there, and we can play with the data. You can do whatever you want, just deploy the Spring Boot or the CX, and it will be fine. So with objects, as I showed you, this is just playing with configuration and doing it in an easier way. But I have my entity in Service Builder, so I don't have an object for it. So how can I do it? Like, that's the question. I have some options, as I said. Or I have an idea, actually. Migration. Come on, guys. Just forget the code you've done, erase everything, and do with objects. Objects, great. No, I'm saying again, migration. We love that word. Stakeholders love that word. So we love to do things all over again. Of course not. That's not a Liferay answer. That's not what we want you to do. So the solution will be system objects. Okay? With system objects, you will have your system builder entities, that you've done. And just by implementing a Java interface, just one, you can place this service builder into the object ecosystem. So we can relate objects, we can create validations, we can create actions for it, and all of your code will be there. The local services, your custom code, everything. It's just an interface to make it available to interact with objects. And this is not a new solution. We do have it for a period of time. So those are the entities we have within Liferay that is already working, and we already have in production solutions involving it. So we have accounts, we have organizations, postal address, user one. I think that is the most used one, and some from commerce. And here are the advantages of having it. First, you don't need to rebuild the current solution. As I said, it will be there, still working. Second, you can expand and improve it. You can create actions, you can create validations, everything. Third, just by implementing a simple Java interface. And then we already have examples working out of the box, so you can check there for example they are currently working. This is the interface you need to implement, System Object Definition Manager. Those are some methods. Pretty simple. We have the crude ones, add base model, delete base model, fetch, get base, and so on. I will be showing here in a while. And we have some other ones just for a configuration. For example, we have the get JAX RS application description to tell me the headless API of that service builder entity. We have the get model class. And this is the most important one, I think, get object fields. There you will be defining which fields you want to bring to your object. You don't need to bring them all. If my service builder entity has 10 fields, I can bring just 3 or 4, just the one that matters for my action, validation, or view. So it's up to you. Enough now, let's check a little bit the code, okay? Please, can you switch to my computer? Yeah, thank you. So, okay. Here, I've done a quick example. I took actually the full example that we have for Service Builder. That's pretty old, right? I was fighting with it, actually, with the JSP thing. So here is the service layer of it. We have the service XML. And here I have the flight ID. So I just rename it from full to flight. And I have this entity. We have the audit fields here. It's OK. And here I have 4 fields. Flight number, active, capacity, and flight date. OK. So if we check the database here, don't say, it's OK. We have the flight table, as we all know already, with the columns here. OK? So that's it for the service layer. And for the basic web, I have those JSPs. I have view, sorry. I have the view with the search container that Marco mentioned, actually. I have full action, OK, with the actions there. I have the edit full. I didn't rename the GSP. I just let them as they were. But we all know that. And I want to show here. Let me log in. How it is. It's okay. So that's the old application. Okay, this is just JSP Service Builder. I have 3 examples here. I can add one more flight. Devcon 24, for example, the flight number. Active, whatever, the date. Save it. So one line is add, pretty basic. That's similar to the applications we have. Of course, much simpler, but that's how it happens. Okay. So, but in this case, I need to create a booking object, and I want to relate. One flight can have many bookings, so I need to transform it into an object. And as I said, it's just implementing a Java interface that I'm calling flight system object definition manager. Okay, and here we have the methods. Let's take a look at each one of them. They are pretty simple. For example, add base model is when I need it because of the actions. When I perform an action that can add another entry, that's the method that you will hit, okay, to create a new flight, for example. And then I will be receiving the values. It's a map of field value, and the user who is doing it. So I'm just taking the values and consuming the flight local service. Okay, you can consume the headless API of the flight here. For you can do what is best for you. But here I'm just consuming from the local service because it's a pretty simple example. So I'm just filling the flight. I'm creating a new flight. Filling, set, active, capacity, flight, and then persisting, adding the flight, and then returning the ID. Okay, simple. We have the delete base model, just deleting the flight, straightforward. Fetching by external reference code, the same. Get base model, get base model external reference code. And here is the external reference code of the object. So I'm defining it ERC underscore flight. That's the ERC of my new object. And here is the JARX RS application description. My entity has a headless API, and I don't want to build another one or create another one or generate another one. I want to use it because it is working. So I'm just defining the path. Okay, this is the application name, application path, the path, and the version. So we will just consume, and things will work. Get labels keys. These are the labels of the objects. Get model class, flight.class, simple. And this is the method I've mentioned, okay? This is the one that we define the fields that we want. Here, I've decided to bring those 3 of the 4 ones. So I brought a Boolean, I brought an integer, and I brought a text one, the flight number, okay? We have some builders, and simple as that. Just the name, if it is required or not, and setting true for a system object, system fields, actually. That means that the user won't be able to delete it from the UI, okay? We have the get pages, get primary column, is the primary column of the table. Get scope, if it is scoped by company or site, you can even decide that. Get the table. The title field, that's when you are relating object entries. You can decide the title field. What field will be displaying there when you are selecting the relationship. the version, you can version in it also. And last, the update base model, just updating it. That's it. It's just implementing a CRUD there, providing some configurations, and the object will be there. Okay, if we go here to the object list, we will have all the lists, all the system objects, actually, the full ones. As I mentioned, we have some from Liferay out of the box, and we have the flight here. Okay, it is flagged as system here, the ERC that I've defined, and to do this is just deploying the module. It will be here. Okay, the title field and the configurations. Here I have the field list, the 3 I brought, active, capacity, flight number. I can create relationships between these objects, create actions and validations, okay? So, what do I need? I need to create booking. This booking, yes, this one is a custom. I did it by UI. I've added some fields to it, okay? I had book number, okay, and booking date. And a booking can have a flight and also a passenger. So 2 relationships, right? So I came to the user. This will be my passenger. This is an out-of-the-box system object. And I went to relationships, and I created a relationship called passenger, a one-to-many with booking. And I also did it for flight. I went to the relationships and created the relationship called bookings, that on flight can have many bookings. So let's see how it looks like. Okay, this is the old one. I have a page for it. And now I have a page for bookings, and this one is not JSP. This one is form container and collection providers. Okay, so I can add a new booking, new B123, and here I am displaying the flights. Okay, so in that screen there, I can open another one for us to check. I have 4, as you can see, and this other one I'm listing here is taking from the database and displaying. This is the title field that I've mentioned, and I can say, okay, this is for the Devcon flight. I can change the label here. Okay, and here are the users. Okay, I can select the passenger right now. I can put me again, and I can submit. And here we have the new entry. Okay, it is related with user and it is related with bookings. So to extend my application, I didn't have to build the service builder from scratch. I just needed to bring my service builder entity as a system object. Okay, so just to show a little bit more here, what can be done. I can go to the flight, the system one, and I can add an action, for example. So I'll be showing here what we can do. These are the triggers, for example. And I can place on after add. And I can add a new entry in some other object. I will just put booking here, just to show that, okay, I'll be placing just 2. Just to show that here I will have available the flight number, some of the fields, active, capacity, from the service builder. So I can, for example, if I would want to place inside the book number, I will want the same as flight number. So just by saying this, after a flight is created, it will be creating a default booking, for example, that will have the same book number as the flight number. That's the action that would do it. Okay? So pretty simple. And also, I can build validations. Okay? So just to show. Here, I can build the condition to validate my data. So we have some functions here, contains, condition, and so on. You all know that already, I think. And you could build your validation here. Of course, it also supports client extension, so you could build your validations with client extension as well. Okay. Finally, just taking a quick look at the user system object. This is inside the Liferay code already. And the difference is just that the user one is consuming from the resource. It's consuming from the headless API to add a base model. You can do it, as I said. And it's just building the user account resource and posting a user account. Okay? But if you want, you can check there in Liferay code. Just look for user system object definition manager. It is an example that is already live there. Okay. We can go back to the slide, please. Good. So, as a quick roadmap, actually, to the system objects, we will probably have the out-of-the-box pages for system objects and form container for system objects as well. This is the roadmap. You can relate, you can play with actions and validations, but we still need to show them to persist data, to build your own pages with form container. This will be cool. This will be like huge, and we are working for this. Thank you, everyone.